our missions in charge, or does someone want to add something?
I think that's good by me.
Good? All right, do we need a vote on that, Rebecca, or are we good? No? Okay. All right, so we're good with that. The business district list. Did we dial in for Brian?
I know he said he was in Maine.
He said he'd be available if he dialed in.
I'll double check, but I know Steve was working with the clerk on that too, so I can look for you.
Okay, so, the business district, look, he was gonna handle that, wasn't the district list?
I think that Steve was gonna talk to the clerk, and I think we sent over the list, and then I believe that the town clerk, and then I believe that Brian had a list that he was already working on in the past, and we were gonna
Okay.
kind of try and see if we can consolidate those lists.
Okay, so maybe next meeting we can get that together?
Yeah, I have the list, but from when I went through it, there's a lot of stuff that's out of date in that list. There's businesses that I know that aren't around anymore, and there's also new businesses that weren't on there. So I think that list is outdated. I don't really know how that works. But, I mean, it's helpful nonetheless.
So do you think we can get the town clerk to get an updated one? You think she'd have one, or no?
I think that's what she had.
Okay.
You know, she probably gave me the best information she had, you know?
I wonder if we can bring it next meeting, to the next meeting, and we'll try to knock out whatever isn't around, or maybe you can knock out ahead of time, and we'll have it for next meeting.
A quick question.
Sure.
Rebecca, is that list kind of bricks and mortar businesses, or is that also DBA certificates?
It's the DBA certificates list.
Okay, yeah, a lot of times those people don't let the town know when they're,
Yeah.
those are no longer active.
Yeah, there's a lot of businesses on there that, you know, I would say probably 80% of them, there's no, you've never seen it before in your life, you know what I mean? And the addresses are like, you know, home offices or whatever, you know?
Does the clerk have any kind of, is there any way to distinguish of the list which are actual kind of businesses, other than obviously driving around or just knowing?
So we were gonna try and take advantage of the list that Brian had from other resources, from his networking with the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce, et cetera, and kind of cross that with the list that was provided by the clerk.
Great.
Let's say, because the
Thank
clerk should have at least have a list of all the brick and mortar businesses, right?
Only those that are required to register with the clerk are doing
Oh.
business as.
So maybe what I can do is I'll follow up with Brian on that, and see what he...
And I just sent him over the link, so he'll be
Okay.
joining shortly.
All right, maybe he'll come in. Okay, and then after the last meeting, I had met with Rebecca, and I had kind of gotten a feel for what we were talking about doing subcommittees, and we kind of talked about making some subcommittees, and I don't know if you guys like this or not, but we're thinking town development, me and Angus, community events, Steve and Monica, business outreach, Brian Cornell, Chris Goodwin, and possibly Monica, and possibly Dennis. And would have like subcommittees, and each one would work on those subjects.
Sure.
Is that good with you guys? All right, so I can get a
One
list of...
sec before you,
Okay.
so maybe I should give the list of the businesses to somebody on that committee so they can handle the
Yeah,
business
I'll get
outreach?
it to the right place.
I just got it because when they were doing the Pumpkin Fest, I wanted to be able to get in touch with people.
Yep.
So that's what I used it for.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it from you, and I'll get it over to Brian and try to go from there.
I've got a question on
Yep.
that. On the town development, is that the one, is that part of the focus of that would be kind of regulations and how easy or not easy it is to develop or to
Yeah.
expand? Is that something that DJ would be good for with the planning board experience? Is that something that, since you deal with permitting and that kind of thing?
To be utilized however you guys need me, so I
Makes
agree, it
sense.
doesn't matter
I mean, you're on the
whichever.
planning
yeah.
board, so we'll put you on that. Okay, that sounds good. And also, we were talking about like land, like we have the Chesterton property that's possibly gonna go up for sale or whatever, looking into stuff, usage, dealing with anyone that might be looking at it, having a place they can go to talk, some town members. That's what we're trying to think with. We have the 150 Center Street discussions going on, so we could be involved in that as well.
And I should be sending over the 150 Center Street, Strawberry Fields feasibility study that was just completed by Mass Development by the end of next week.
All right? So, I think that will get us in the right direction to get started with some subcommittees. And then I was saying that I can give that off to everyone. I'll make up each one and get it emailed over so everyone knows who they're working with and what have you. I'll drop the emails as well. And then we have the discussion, do you guys want to meet once a month or bi-monthly for the board? Anyone have any preference?
I like this subcommittee idea. I think that can really help to get some traction on some specific ideas. Maybe with the holidays coming up, maybe if each of the subcommittees made a commitment to meet between now and the end of the calendar year, and then maybe this committee meets maybe early in January, and the subcommittees report back, and then we set out a meeting schedule based on what we're hoping to achieve. But I could see it turning into maybe a monthly committee meeting, and then if each subcommittee also met at least monthly, it seems like, when you say bi-monthly, you mean every other month?
Every other month, yeah.
To me, that's, we're not going to get,
Nothing done.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so,
So maybe we do is I'll get everything emailed over for the subcommittees, let them all have a month or so to do their talking between each other, and then we'll meet late January, sometime late January,
Sounds good.
okay?
anytime in January, yep.
Yep, all right. And then the minutes, we need to find someone to do the minutes. You did them in the past, and we need
Yep,
to...
I can help out whenever I'm able to attend a meeting. I'm
Yep.
happy to take notes and make sure that gets back to the committee, but we should have a backup for
Okay.
when, if I'm not able to attend a meeting or if I have another
Yeah,
commitment.
Meeting, yeah, okay. Does anyone on the board want to do the minutes?
No one wants to do minutes,
Yep.
but I'd be willing to
Okay.
do them sometimes,
perfect.
not every meeting, but I'd be happy
right.
to help. I didn't happen to bring paper tonight, so I'm not taking notes, but,
I got you covered.
Okay. Perfect. And then we have basically any items not reasonably anticipated. And I'd also like to ask any members if they have anything they want to talk about or any other topics they want to talk about in a future agenda.
one thing I'm just curious about as a, newer resident in town, I know the gas station there on the corner with the bridge, obviously, there's a history there, there's, it's, I'm sure got contamination issues, it's a small site, there's no parking, and I'll confess, I have not yet read the master plan, so I'm sure there's a lot more detail there, and the, different town plans, but if someone could give me just kind of a thumbnail of what's been looked at there, is there any viability to a potential redevelopment of that site, or is obviously a very challenged site?
So that site is owned by someone. There's been a proposal to have someone move in and use that as an office space. Right now, I believe it's been approved by the town, and he's going before DOT for approval to use it as well. I believe that's where it stands, right? Still DOT?
Yes, they're for their curb cut permit.
Right.
So I believe they're in design.
Yeah.
So that'd be new construction on that site?
Kind of, we'll call it refurbishment for a different use.
Uh-huh.
And turning it into office space, for one business owner.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's promising.
Yep. Okay, does anyone else have anything they want to have for other agenda item and they want to talk about tonight?
I do have one update, just to let the board know, that as we had discussed about from a community aspect and engaging our business community. We worked very hard with Pumpkin Fest to make that a success. Thank you both to Steve and Bill for taking the helm on that. And so now that we turn our attention to the holiday season before us, last season we were able to work with the businesses to get some lights up in the Elm Park, which was a big development for us. This year, we would like to start to engage the businesses a little bit more. So we had talked about potential sponsorship of light posts for garland wrappings. We're going to be putting up some snowflake lighting along the lights and along the light posts, kind of brightening up the area. but we're also exploring the idea of gingerbread sponsorships. So little cutouts that could be decorated by the businesses like they do in other communities for like scarecrows and things of that nature. And it would be something that would be sponsored by some of the businesses, and they would be able to display their business logo or information and bring some holiday cheer down to the square. So it was something that we were looking to partner with the businesses with, and wondering if maybe that was something that the committee would think was in line with some of the community event type items as a subcommittee, and would be willing to sit down with us and kind of help us form that idea into a reality.
Sure.
Yeah,
So,
I like it.
yeah, definitely. I think that would probably be Steve and
Yeah, do you have, like, who is us for the,
So I've been working with the town planner as well as the Groveland Municipal Light Department.
Okay.
They've been instrumental in getting the lights up and helping us get this originated.
so do you need me to help? Like, I could help with calling some people like I did before.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be honest, everyone I called was like excited to be a part of it, and really worked out kind of nice. It, that whole thing you said didn't cost the town anything, right?
Yeah, so that's what it does. It goes back into doing exactly what that is. Like the
Yeah.
sponsorship would pay for the garland, or the sponsorship would create the actual cutout, and then we would just put it up there. So it would be something that we'd like to pursue. And then, as years go on, if it's successful like Pumpkin Fest has been, then we can start maybe doing contests. We can start inviting more people to participate. We can start then trying to do more community activities and stuff down in the Elm Square itself. Maybe that will help some of the businesses down there, and we can start to have those conversations and bring some more foot traffic, expand over into the trail section. So there's a lot of potential and opportunity given where it goes. So this is just our first try at doing something a little bit more interactive other than just the decorative lights. And so having a conversation with that subcommittee, I think, and just even yourself, would be extremely helpful to us in order to tap into those resources and collaborate. So I would
Yeah.
very much like that.
Yeah, I'm game. We probably have to get on it sooner than later,
Time is of the
So,
essence.
yeah, whenever, let me know.
No, I think that's a really good idea. It could be something that we could put a link on the town website as well, saying sponsorship, click here, and here's the details and form to fill out.
Yeah, Rebecca, this is Brian. I know Norwood made a sponsorship. I want to say Guilfoyle as well. And was there anyone else last year, or?
No, it was just both yourself and John Guilfoyle's public relations company that helped us get the lights up on the square.
Yeah, but I know last year we talked about trying to do something a little, and again, here we are up against a pretty quick window, but we were talking about doing something, maybe, something around having Santa, or, hot chocolate, or doing something like that. I'd also maybe challenge you guys that are in the tree business. Maybe we could do something with the tree. I know we had something last year over by the gazebo, but really loved it, and people were pretty excited about it. I think it was born out of some people complaining on town crier about, why don't we have, Bedford Falls or something like, It's a Wonderful Life, but we're all in again, so whatever you guys want to do, we're in.
Okay.
That's perfect. I'll be in touch and I'll let you know what we got set up, and then we can figure out what we can do next.
Cool.
I'd be happy to volunteer some time for that as well.
So I probably should let Monica know as well. That.
I can
Get a hold
email,
of her.
yep.
Perfect,
yep.
okay. Yep. And then Brian, we were talking, I don't know if you heard it earlier, we were talking about the business district list. Steve had worked on it for Pumpkin Fest and said a lot of what he looked up through the town clerk, a lot of the businesses are no longer around or whatever. And we were thinking about you going through the Merrimack Valley. Were you able to do anything with that yet?
Yeah, I've pulled together, I can share with you guys what we went through. I pulled a bunch of stuff just off, the state advisory around workers' comp, companies that are still actively paying workers' comp are certainly more apt to be around. There were a lot of, I think, town permitted companies that weren't on the list. I know Rebecca went back and forth with me. I'd love to share that with you guys. I'm kind of preparing for the bird tomorrow, but, maybe early next week, we can get some stuff together and collaborate and figure out who's new in town and who's still in town.
Yep, so you're gonna end up working with, Chris Goodwin and Monica Cabone on that. So that would be the subcommittee for that, and I'll get an email out stating, who the members are and all that stuff to you.
Yeah, sounds
And,
great.
Then you guys can work on that list for the maybe late January when we have our next meeting.
And I can forward you the list that I have, Brian, from the town clerk, if that helps you.
Yeah, that'd be dynamite. Now, I'm also happy to help you with the, kind of collaborating and getting some people together on the Christmas list.
Sounds good.
I know something, by the way, just while we're on that real quick, something that was always really fun, and I don't know if we'd be ready to do it this year, but we used to have, in a town I grew up with, a big Santa Claus with a big post office box. It was, beyond just the regular USPS, and kids could come and drop off their Christmas lists. It was a pretty fun time, just as a kid, and it lasted for years and years. I don't know if they're still doing it, but just an idea.
Maybe you guys could talk about that in the subcommittee as well. All right.
Bill, you had, so two other items that come to mind for potential future agenda items. One, the 150 Center, it's great, you'll send that out toward the end of next week. I think it'd be great at the next meeting if you or whomever is most knowledgeable on it actually presented that to the committee to kind of help us, understand the key points and in particular, what are some of the action items the town can do to help facilitate that. Because it's great to read a report, but I think if we have that on the agenda for discussion, I think that'll be really good. And then the second thing, obviously, Springtown meeting is the time when, major decisions are made, whether that's on budgetary, on spending, on policies like zoning amendments. So I don't know what the schedule is here, but I know where I work, the warrant tends to close right around the end of January. If there's things that ought to be on our radar, whether for this town meeting cycle or a future town meeting, that would be really good, just so we can kind of be helpful on the most relevant issues.
So that being said, we probably should meet, if we're gonna talk about that kind of stuff, meet before, have at least a meeting or two meetings before we get to town meeting. So if any issues come up, we could talk about them, and then we could help.
I can get the list. We typically, for Groveland, don't close the warrant until around later February. So there's a little bit more time. So we would be able to meet if there wasn't an opportunity to meet in December and January or whatnot, and still had time to make adjustments as needed. I would think, unless there's a desire to do it sooner, we can do that as well.
Maybe when we have the town development subcommittee, we can talk about that in some detail and see if there's anything with zoning or anything that we ought to be, looking to try to get done in the spring.
One of my thoughts was, on our subcommittee would have been, I would like to take a look at, like you said, 150 Center. I'd like to take a look at the, some areas around town, there's some property, there's the old hot dog plant, there's Kendall Construction, next to them, there's the Northern Tree. A lot of people, are using the property, but maybe not to their benefit. Maybe the town could do a business, something, rezone, whatever, we can look into it, talk to them. I know I did talk to one of the parties, and that person had told me, yeah, I'm willing to sit down and talk. So I know we need a business area, so we gotta, that's what I'd like to try and do, find something out there that we can do some kind of a business area that we can get revenue through business as well. And I know we have the old Estes property over there too, there's a lot going on over there, we can take a look at that and try to work with those guys as well too, so that's kind of where I wanted to develop it bigger. Okay?
Does anyone know if there's any commercial property around that isn't developed that we don't know about, that you can't see with the naked eye? Or do we have any way of knowing that information, or?
Yeah, we can pull a parcel list of those in the business and industrial district to see.
Yeah,
And we
'cause
can
you-
also cross-check with some of the
foreclosed.
Yeah, whether it be the tax title
Tax
list or
title.
whether or not we also take a look at just even Zillow and other types of real estate websites to see what we have. But we could
maybe.
definitely do that.
That may be something to look into to make sure that things are going in the right direction before they get sold or whatever, you know?
When I was involved with the selectmen, one of the things we had done is we had took a look at all the tax titled and what have you property, and we developed and put out the bid, and Daniels bought some property on Salem Street, in DeHuller, I believe it was. So we sold 2 properties off. We could have went for the third, which was the old highway garage, but the town decided they wanted to keep that for the school in case of redevelopment, but I'm sure we can look around. That's what we should probably do, is that committee, to see what's available, what we can offer, what we can put out there. I know there was talk about the Old Valley School Building, but that, again, has issues with it alone. We went to the, many meetings on that, and, you know, I know the town has an eye on that possibly, but that, again, that site committee could have all those conversations and bring it back before the board as well. So, do we have anything else? Anyone have anything else they wanna? So, the last item we talked about, next meeting, do you guys wanna set a time, or do you wanna wait a little bit and wanna go to the end of January, or middle to end of January? Any thoughts on that for another meeting? Give the other subcommittees a little time to do some work?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, especially with the compressed schedule with the holidays. We
Yeah.
give a little time for the
For the
subcommittees
end.
over the next month, and we can set a time in January to come, to regroup as a,
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
try to go like the last week in January, probably. That good with everyone? Sometime the last week?
yeah.
I don't have a calendar in front of me, but
It'd be either the week of the 22nd or the 29th.
we'll probably push it out as long as we can, giving everyone time to do it. Twenty-ninth? Everyone good with the 29th for now?
I can't do Monday, the 29th, but I
Okay.
could do another night that week.
Okay. Yeah, Monday's usually the selectmen, sometimes we might conflict with them.
We're on the same schedule as Angus.
Yeah. How about Thursday, a Thursday toward the end?
Yeah, Thursdays are good. That gets us to February 1st unless we want to do the Thursday, the
I don't
25th.
think that would be a problem. Do you? Want to go shoot for February 1st? That good with everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
At 5 PM?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, and February 1st, next meeting, 5 PM. All right, I think we've covered pretty much everything. It's a short meeting. I know it's the night before Thanksgiving, and I'd like to tell everyone, have a great Thanksgiving, and look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Likewise.
Thank you very much.
A motion to adjourn at 5:20.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Brian.
Thank you.